the cloud. Okay, so first thing, the whole reason I even wanted to meet up or bring all you guys here is because people are sometimes thinking like, man, if only I had more money, I'd be able to scale my business. If only I had more money, I'd be able to pay off certain debts, or if only I had more money, I'd be able to invest in certain things. And so for the longest time, I was always thinking about, man, how do I leverage, how do I get access to more income? How do I get access to more money without making it, right? Because we already have an understanding of leveraging debt. When you buy a house, when you buy a mortgage, right, you're getting a debt of whatever, 500 grand nowadays, and you're putting down a certain amount. So we're already leveraging debt, but we don't know how to leverage it really. We only know how to leverage it when buying a house, or we know how to leverage it when buying a car. Obviously, we know how to leverage it when going to get student loans. So in this case, I'm going to show us really how I think it's gaming the system. Business credit cards, even if you don't have a business, are way better than personal credit cards. And I'm going to explain why. You know, at the end of the day, you're still personally liable for the business credit cards as you are the personal credit cards. So, I mean, you're going to have to pay it back. That's not what we're trying to escape. But I'm going to go into some detail as to like why business credit cards I don't even mess with personal credit cards anymore. Obviously, you have to build your personal score, your personal credit score, get your personal credit card limits to a certain point. And then once you enter the business credit card space, you start getting $50,000 approvals, $70,000, $80,000, $100,000 approvals. So any questions or expectations before we get started on just like what to expect? I'm going to be going over, you know, what's the difference between personal credit and business credit, how to build your personal credit, how to get your personal credit to the point where you're getting $50,000 business credit lines, and how to remove inquiries. I know right today, you get denied, by the way. So it's not like you're getting always approvals, but every single inquiry that you're denied on, I'm going to show you guys how to remove those inquiries, especially on Experian. You know, you call the credit card company. I mean, I'll go through it. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff I'm going to be sharing today. Try to keep it underneath 45 minutes. If you have questions, this isn't like wait till the end for questions. The more engaged you are, the better it is for everybody. The more questions you ask, 3 other people have the same question, that kind of deal. Any questions before we get started? You guys all good? All right, sweet. Got people hopping in. Okay, so intro to credit. So benefits of personal credit card. So we're just helps you get access to credit. You don't spend your cash. Yeah, so when we talk about personal credit, this should just say credit, not necessarily personal credit cards. We just talk about your credit score, personal credit score. That's what that should say. So your regular personal credit score, obviously it's in a range from, you know, could be as low as 500 something up to 850. My credit score right now is maybe 760 to 790, which is still pretty good. Anything above 720, you're doing really well. It's a good credit score. Then you got to start learning how to use it. So why do you need a good credit score? Qualifies you for lower rates. When you're going to apply for a home, you go for a car, you're going to get a lower rate. Obviously, the higher credit score you have, the better you are in the eyes of the lender. Then helps you get access to credit so you don't spend your cash. You know, cash is king. When you have cash, you're just more flexible. And that's obviously, there's a lot of reasons we use credit cards. So we don't have to always be dishing out our cash. We want points. That's the next point here. You get better access to points. Helps you more a qualified renter. I didn't know this. So for those of you in college, Daniel, Sammy, I didn't know that after college, when you want to go and rent somewhere, they ask you for your credit score. I didn't know this until after college. I got really lucky. Obviously, my credit score was good after college, but they ask you for your credit. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. They ask you for your credit score. They do a hard pull, and yeah, helps you with lower insurance rates. Obviously, this is adult stuff. So those of you who, you know, that's how I know I'm becoming an adult, right? Where I care about low insurance rates. Helps you get access to business credit. This is the most important one. business bank accounts, so business bank credit cards, business checkings, those banks will lend on what's called comparable credit. You know, obviously a lot of us don't have massive businesses so that a bank can say, yeah, you're lendable, your business is doing really well, I'm going to give you a credit line of $20,000. So in the beginning, a business bank, like a bank that just wants to give you a business credit card, they're going to look at your personal credit score and they're going to look at your personal credit limits. And they want to see, hey, do you even have $10,000 limits on your personal credit cards? Like, what are your limits on your personal credit cards? If they're 10 grand, then you're more likely to get a $10,000 business credit card. If it's 20 grand, so on and so forth, right? On my personal credit limits right now, the most I have over $100,000, maybe 120 just in my name. That doesn't mean I'm using all of it. My utilization is probably 4%, right? So you want to keep your utilization ideally less than 15% on each credit card, and then obviously across all of your credit cards. So because I have $100,000 plus of credit limits on my personal credit cards, now I went to go apply for the Amex Platinum yesterday, and I qualify for $50,000 business credit card. So there's steps to this, right? The idea is you start with 3 to 5 personal credit cards, then you work on getting those credit limits up to $20,000. 10 to 20 is where you want to be. Once that happens, you have over a 720 credit score. It's like, boom, you can start moving into the business credit world. I mean, you could do it beforehand, but that's what you want to be building and focused on. Okay, any questions on personal credit scores, things like that? All good. All right, I'm moving pretty fast, but stop me. All right. Benefits of business credit. I use it to invest. Last year, we used maybe $60,000 or $70,000 worth of 0% credit. We invested in real estate. We invested in e-commerce. We invested in cryptocurrencies. We invested in my businesses that I was scaling. So there's a lot of ways to use this business credit. Again, the way I use it is 0% interest. So I'm not paying any interest on the money. I just have to make the minimum payments. And then at the end of the year, all the profit that you made, all you do is just pay back the credit card. So that's what you do. So yeah, use it to build my business. The awesome part, so this Amex Platinum that I just got yesterday, if I spend $15,000 in the first 3 months, I get 150,000 points, which I don't know what that equates to. Maybe that's like, I have no idea what that equates to be honest, but I know it's a lot. And I know that Amy and I are probably going to be flying for free for our next Cancun trip. So that's why it's pretty freaking awesome. And you're getting the same positive benefits of a personal credit card, but on a business credit card. And I'm going to keep going as to why that's helpful. So use it to get cash back on purchases. One of the cards last year was 5% cash back. We got over $3,000 back. This is the biggest one. One of the biggest reasons why business credit cards are huge. I can rack up, so that $50,000 Amex Platinum card, I can spend all $50,000 of it. I can pull all the money out, just like I did last year with certain business cards. I can pull all the money out, invest it, and it's never going to report to my personal credit score. As long as I make the minimum monthly payments for the next 12 to 18 months, then even if it's $50,000, right? Imagine having $50,000 on your personal credit card and you're not paying it off every month. Your credit score is going to go way down. So having, what's up? What's going on? So having a business credit card like Amex or Chase or US Bank or Bank of America, Wells Fargo, again, business credit cards, they do not report utilization on, let's see, I'm gonna mute you guys. They do not report on your personal credit score. Again, can't stress this enough. This is like, if you don't even have a business, you should get a business credit card just for this reason, because you don't want the utilization on your personal credit score. Okay. This is also really cool. So if you have a business credit card that's going to be a hard inquiry most of the time on your credit score. When you have hard inquiries on your credit score, let me mute. Okay, when you have a hard inquiry on your credit score, that brings down your credit score and it makes you less likely to be approved. Okay, obviously, if you have 12 inquiries in the past month, you're probably gonna get denied, because banks don't like it when you're somebody who's constantly wanting more credit. They think something's wrong and they probably start denying you. So the beauty with business credit inquiries is even after you're approved, you can call and remove the inquiry from your credit report. Like, this is freaking crazy. You can't do this with personal credit cards. If you were to call and remove the inquiry on your personal credit card with a personal credit card, then they're going to close your personal credit account because it's tied to your social security number. Okay, business credit cards are not tied to your social security number. They're tied to your business, what's called an EIN, business employer identification number. And personal credit cards are tied to your social security number. So if you call and said it's fraud, hey, somebody, and this is what you do, right, to get it removed. You call the bureaus and you say, hey, this is fraudulent. Somebody tried opening up this credit card without my approval, and I want you to remove it from my credit. And so they're going to remove it from your credit. So when you do that and it's a personal card, then they close your account. When you do it and it's a business card, they don't close your account. Your business account stays open. They remove the inquiry. Then what do? You go and apply for another business card, because having business cards doesn't affect your credit score. So your utilization is still down at 4%. I already got $50,000 from my business credit card. I can go and now apply to another business credit card, do the same thing, rinse and repeat. Yep, can reapply to more business credit after wiping inquiries. This is cool. You can do this for personal credit cards. You can do this with business credit cards. Actually, so sorry, no, this one specifically is with the Amex card. And I'm actually going to try this out tomorrow. But if I have two businesses that are tied to my name, two different businesses with the American Express card. And last year I had one American Express Blue card that was 0% interest for 12 months. I think it's like $10,000 or $15,000. I think it's like $15,000. That ended in December. I opened up the Amex Platinum this month, yesterday, and that's 0% for the next 12 months. So what am I going to do? I have $50,000 on the Platinum. I have $15,000 on the Blue. I'm going to call Amex and ask them to transfer from the Blue to the Platinum. Now I just raised my 0% $50,000 limit up to 65. So I'm going to, specifically with the Platinum card, you have to test this out, but usually you can do that. I don't know if it's usually Blue to Blue, American Blue business card to American Blue business card. I need to test that. Interest rate is 0%. So I only recommend 0% credit cards. This is usually between 6 and 20 months. After the 0% period, that's where I also recommend doing a balance transfer. Again, it'll be easier to get other business cards to do balance transfers on if you're still holding credit. But it's a normal credit card. So your interest rate is going to be between 15 and 25%. Yeah, I recommend 720. If you've got over a 720, then you can start applying for business cards. And if you're not at a 720, then you need to invest into cleaning up the credit and getting your credit score up. Let's see. So yeah, can liquidate the credit to cash to invest. That's kind of what I did. There's different ways of doing that. So the way that I did it was I have a friend who sends me an invoice for 50 grand. I pay the invoice, so it goes into his bank account, and obviously there's a fee. So there's a 3% service fee for the credit card. Then he charges another 2% for the service. So in total, it's 5%. All the money goes to him. He wires me back all the funds the next day. And that's like a liquidation service. Obviously, you need to trust the person you're working with. But then there's this thing called manufactured spending. And Crystal actually brought this up to me, like, hey, how do I spend whatever 20 or 30 grand? I don't know if it's 20 or 30 grand, by the way, but how do I spend a certain amount of money in 3 months? That's sometimes people's concern. How do I spend $15,000 in 3 months on a credit card? And you can implement this thing called manufactured spending so that you can get the points. or get the cash back. You know, obviously everybody has their own ethics. This is just gaming the system that's meant to game us. So you can go to a store. I mean, you could maybe do this at Apple, but Sam's Club, I know absolutely works because there's a lot of people that are doing it. You go to Sam's Club, you take your credit card, you take your debit card, and you tell them, hey, can you put, let's say the item is $5,000 TV. You say, can you put $4,800 on my credit card? And then you say, can you put $200 on my debit card? Okay, so you have to pay with both. And the reason why is because the next day or after 2 or 3 days, whatever you feel comfortable with, you go back to Sam's Club to return the item. And they say, what card would you like this back on? And you say, use my debit card. And now they give you back all the money, the $5,000 into your debit card, into your checkings. And you keep all the points that you just spent with your credit card. And then you just use the money that you got in your checkings to pay off your credit card. This is what you call manufactured spending. You never actually bought anything. All you did was leverage a third party like Sam's Club to transfer credit into your checkings account to pay off your credit card. Any questions on benefits of business credit? But this is exactly why I like business credit. There's so much stuff, so much flexibility you could do with it. There's so many situations that I'm sure many of us have been in where you rack up a credit card that's limits $5,000 or maybe less or maybe more, and you can't apply for more credit because you've got such high utilization. So right when you need more credit, the banks don't want to give it to you, right? You need more credit. You want to lower your interest rate. You want to get out of that 15, 18, 20% interest rate credit card, but you can't get another credit card because your credit score is whack. Your credit score is out of whack because you got high utilization, because you got too many inquiries. Again, that's all happens because of personal credit cards. If you did all the same thing with business credit cards, you would never have that issue. Any questions? Yeah, that's good. Is this blowing people's mind yet? Sammy's the only one that I can see right now. Everybody, Sam, you're the man, dude. You're the man for having your video on.
Yeah, I'm here with Jade and.
Hi.
What's up, Jade? Hey, any questions, Jade? Is that all making sense?
Yeah.
That last one was creative.
Yeah, dude. So you have to, like, this whole thing, me being an entrepreneur has just been, how do I game the system that's been gaming us? So the other thing, you don't need an LLC to create a business. You only need what's called an EIN, Employer Identification Number. And you can get that even as a sole proprietor. It's free. It's like you can get an EIN online, just type in, how do I get an EIN for my sole proprietor? And with that EIN number, you can go and open up a business checkings account. You can go and apply for business credit cards, and you never have to pay anybody anything. If you want to get an LLC because you're actually starting a business, it's a different story. But I just want to let you guys know that getting a business credit card is no different than a personal credit card. You're just tying it to a different number, which is not your social security number. Okay. Cool. So how to get a good credit score. Number one is payment history. So any derogatory marks, like I had a collections on my account for a year, and it was brutal. My credit, I couldn't get any credit last year, any new credit. It was terrible because of this hospital collections on my account. I ended up getting that removed. I paid $250 to a company to get it removed. So any derogatory marks you get, late payments, collections, all that stuff, you can get it removed, right? You have to pay for it, but it's, for me, in my opinion, it's worth it instead of waiting 7 years for it to fall off. If you're new and you want to get some age or some payment history before you go to apply, message your parents, message your brothers, message me, and then we can get you added as an authorized user on one of my cards. So that helps you with age. So you're going to have a certain amount of age on your credit history, and you're going to get help with limits. So, if I have a $10,000 or $20,000 limit that I add you on, then when you go and apply for credit, they're going to say, oh, wow, that guy has a $20,000 credit limit. So that should help. What company did I use to remove that? I'll share. Yeah, I don't have the URL on me right now, but I will share that with you guys for removing all that stuff off your credit score. Utilization, this is that other one. That's brutal. High utilization rate. My personal credit score, because I was testing last year, I couldn't get new business credit because of the collections on my account. So I was forced to use a lot of my personal credit, which was a bummer. My score went from like a 780 down to like a 670. And this was only for utilization. So it was a huge learning lesson for me. I'll probably never use personal credit like that again. It wasn't worth it to not be able to apply for new credit cards. Can you use a business credit card to do a balance transfer? Yes, you can. You can use a business credit card to do a balance transfer. What kind of red flags can come up related to the IRS? You're not evading taxes, right? The IRS just cares about taxes. They're, I think they're a private company that cares about like how they're going to bring more revenue to the United States through taxes. And what you're doing, all you're doing is collecting debt. So credit cards is debt. If you create an EIN without a real business, I may be buying stuff that doesn't make sense for a business. We're small fries, right? And this is what we have to remember. If the IRS ever were to come after you, you're probably doing something really right or really wrong. And if you're small fries, like most of us are, then you don't have anything to worry about. And so the IRS has to spend money to go after you. And then they have to make sure that you have money so it's worth their time. If they go after you, and even if they get you, you know what, you're going to pay $5,000 or you get fined with $5,000, $10,000, you're not even paying for that person's salary. So it's a waste of their time. I personally wouldn't be afraid of that. Is it a risk? Maybe. Is it, how realistic is it? I don't think it's that realistic. Do I recommend balance transfers, pay off all credit cards and just have one card you're paying off? Yes. Yeah, I would even do what's called a bridge loan. So Crystal, I mean, you have your parents, bridge loan is if you have a lot of personal credit debt, you have somebody help pay off your personal credit debt, get your credit score back to, so it's above 720, apply for business credit cards. And then now you could liquidate the business credit cards to pay back your, the person who lent you the money. And doing that helps remove that personal credit debt. Does that make sense? So yes, you can do a balance transfer, consolidate. That's I do balance transfers to bring your utilization down. So if you're over 30% utilization on your personal credit, I would do balance transfers to 6 different credit cards if I can get all of them below 10%, because that's going to bring your credit score up. And then once your credit score comes up, you apply for business credit, then you could do a balance transfer from your personal credit card to your business credit card. Yeah, and Andrew, you can always, yeah, I was gonna say, when you have a consulting business and it's an at-home business, I mean, you don't have to, this is the thing, when you use a business credit card for personal reasons, you don't need to have a business. The IRS, as long if you're not actually reporting losses. So Andrew, when you were talking about, you have to worry about the IRS. If you're reporting losses with that business credit card, then yes, you have to worry about it because you're claiming deductions. But if you're just using the business credit card for personal reasons, then you don't claim any of those deductions, then the IRS is never going to come after you. Some good balance transfer cards that I've used for personal credit. The best credit cards I've gotten for personal credit are Citi Simplicity, Citi Rewards. I've had the best, the best credit limits. I mean, Chase is obviously a good one. So that's really good. Okay. Age, longer credit history, more robust credit, shows you're legit. So in this case, if you're new, get someone's authorized user with good credit and age. I'm actually testing this myself. I asked my mom, who's on this call, I love you, mom, to add me to her profile, to her Wells Fargo profile, which is like 30 years old. I'm 30 right now. So I don't know what that's going to do. I don't know if the banks are going to be like, oh, you got this 30 years ago. I'll be like, oh yeah, you know, my mom opened it up for me when I was a baby. I don't even know if that's possible. So no, I actually looked it up. You can't open up a credit card unless you're 18, but you can be an authorized user. So I don't know if that's going to move me up or down. I want to see what it does for my age, if it helps me out or not. It's just a test that I'm running. Credit mix. This is a thing that kind of sucks about the system, right? The fact that they're saying, hey, 10% of your credit score depends on what debt you carry. Like that sucks. So you don't want to, like, my student loans are still not paid off, but all the people who pay off their student loans in one bet, they're not realizing that they just removed one aspect of the credit mix, right? So now my credit score could potentially more powerful, more robust by me keeping my student loans for a longer period of time. Same thing with the car loan, same thing with the mortgage. The longer you keep these on, then the longer your credit history is, the more you can prove that you can make payments. Yeah, I just put in here, sad but true, but you get more things on your file, get a more robust score. And then the last one is new accounts. Ideally, you don't want more than 2 hard inquiries in the last 6 months. So a hard inquiry could be like a rent. When you go and you're trying to get a new rental spot, they do a hard inquiry on your profile. Sometimes they do a soft, but sometimes they do a hard one. Maybe you're just applying for a mortgage. That's a hard inquiry. What do I use to check my credit score? It's free, Experian.com, Experian app. I legitimately have 2 apps on my phone. Give me one sec. I guess somebody else wants to hop on. So I got 2 apps on my phone. One is Experian and the other is, so I don't know if you guys can see Experian. So it's just an Experian app. And it's pretty cool because it'll tell you, your scores only for Experian. So the Experian app only works for Experian when it's free. And you can see like my score right now. Shoot, you can't see it at all. That's lame. Okay, so Experian, that's the free app. You can get your Experian store. And then the other one is Credit Karma. Credit Karma tells you Equifax and TransUnion. And those are the 2 that you download on your phone. Those are free. Right, those are my 758 on both TransUnion and Equifax. And okay, so yeah, new accounts. Try not to have more than 2 hard inquiries in the last 6 months. Again, you can call, especially when they're when they are like rental credit, that stuff you can call and get that removed. When it's anything you weren't approved for, so if you apply for personal credit or you apply to business credit and you're not approved, those are ones you can absolutely remove. Credit Karma, yeah, you got it. So let me just type this in, Experian and Credit Karma for apps to download, free scores. All right. So payment history, age, utilization, credit mix, new accounts. And this is kind of the weight that you can see. All right, what are interest rates? So this is a basic question, but believe it or not, I didn't really know this until mid-20s. So I'm just gonna do this exercise with you guys. Because people always say like, oh, this is 5% interest or 15% interest or 25% interest. But how much are you really paying? Like, how do you calculate how much you're paying in interest per month? Because percentages are just numbers. And unless you're a math nerd like me, then they don't make sense. So this is the easiest way that you could do it. All you have to do is like divide the interest rate by 12. and that gives you the monthly interest rate. And then you multiply that by the amount on your statement balance, assuming you don't pay your statement balance off. And that's how much interest you would pay that month. Okay, let's go an example. Your statement balance is $1,000. You haven't paid it off. It's going to carry over into that next month. So you do 20% divided by 12 months. So that's 1.67% interest. Okay, all I did is 20 divided by 12, 1.67%. I multiply 1.67% times 1,000, and I get 16.7. Okay, so everybody knows how to do the 0.0167 multiplied by 1,000 equals 16.7. And then that is how much in interest you would pay. So this is how you calculate how much interest you pay. Sometimes, right, you can, once you understand this, then you can start to understand investments, right? So there's a positive side to this. If I have a credit card that pays me, if I pay 10% interest on a debt, like a credit card, 10% a year, but I'm making 20% on my investment, right? There's a gain there. So for me, I don't mind carrying the debt of 10% if I'm making another 10% on top of that. This is the whole idea behind business credit, leveraging 0% credit cards, so that when you liquidate the cards, or you can use the credit for investments, as long as you make over 5% or 10%, then you're in the green. If you just pay off your statement balance every month, you'll never be charged interest. If you leave a balance on your personal credit cards and they report to your credit score, then you'll be dinged for high utilization. Great. Let me see. What are the questions I got? Use bank apps. What is your criteria for an investment you're willing to make with a credit card? Yeah, that one's more, let's talk about that at the end, Andrew. So how to access 0% credit. Setting up the EIN, you can do that with whether you're a sole proprietor, which just means like you're your own person, right? You're Sam Rodriguez, and you can get an EIN for yourself, right? You would start a business, call it Sammy Rodriguez, and you get what's called a DBA, doing business as your name, Sammy Rodriguez, and you now considered a sole proprietor. And, you know, if you're a masseuse, if you're a health trainer, anybody can be a business. And you just go and get an EIN. Then you want to set up what's called a DUNS number for that business. And a DUNS number, think of that as your credit score. Your DUNS number is the credit score for your business that other banks will look at, and they'll send your payments and all that stuff to this DUNS. This helps tell banks and tells other businesses that you're actually pretty legit. So all we're doing is putting lipstick and makeup on your business, even if you're not really operating a business, right? This is still going to be beneficial. So you don't have to feel like, oh, I don't have a business idea. I'll do this after I have a business. Like, no, you could be doing this right now, and your business is tutoring, right? Or your business is you take out people's trash, all your neighbors' trash, you take it out every morning, or you go around your blocks. Doesn't matter. Credit score is above 720. Answer that you're always employed. When you're applying to business credit, even if you're self-employed, you employ yourself, you are employed. All right, personal income, even if you don't make 147K, still put it. I would recommend it. It's very rare that they actually cross-reference this with your actual income. I remember like the most business credit I got, or maybe even personal credit, I don't remember, but it was when I was unemployed. I had just quit my job. I was about 6 months unemployed, and I applied to like 5 different credit cards. This was when I was just learning, and I put that I made $100,000, and they gave me $17,000 credit limit. I was like, I'm unemployed, and they still gave me that. So business income, go ahead and put 97,000 if you're just starting out. This is projected business income. So if you're saying, oh, I don't have a business, right? All these limiting beliefs and limiting thoughts will probably start to come into your head. I don't have a business. How am I going to produce $97,000 of my business income? How am I going to prove this? Oh no, what if they ask me this? What if they ask me that? Right? Odds are I've never been asked for this to verify any of this stuff. Just don't make it sound ridiculous. Monthly credit usage, I put 15. If you're just starting out, you might even want to put 10. And if you want to be on the safe side, but you want to put that you're going to be using the credit card. If you put 5, then they're probably going to give you a $5,000 limit. Example banks that offer 0% intro cards between 6 to 20 months. Chase Inc. Unlimited. This is like one of the first ones I got. I highly recommend getting a business Chase account, checkings account too. And that's going to help you out. Fund that account with like, I don't know, 2, 3, 5 grand, and then apply for this Chase Inc. Unlimited. You get more higher credit limit because of the algorithm. Amex Blue, this is a nice one. This one's really, really good. 0% credit. US Bank, I'm going through this process right now. I'm setting up my US Bank business checkings account. Then I'm going to apply for US Bank credit card. Citizens Bank, this is a soft pull. So this is probably one of the first ones I'd recommend doing. It's not going to be a hard inquiry. Bank of America, this is another one I'm setting up. I'm going to fund it, fund the business checkings account, put about 5 grand in there, let it sit, and then I'll apply for business credit. And remember, after each of these, if I get denied or I get approved, after I get the card and after I activate it, I'm going to call Experian, or I'm going to call Equifax or TransUnion, and I'm going to get the inquiry removed. Any questions so far on this, on how to access 0% credit or example banks? I'll start here. Oh, that made sense? Sweet. Alrighty. All right. Okay, use or liquidate the cards. So this talks about like, so how do you get the money out, right? If I have $50,000 in American Express Platinum card, it's 0% for 12 months. How do I use the money? Obviously, you can use it by swiping when you go to a regular store. So, you know, I could use this to pay for a coaching lesson, which is true. A lot of my 0% cards, I'll usually invest in myself, which you are the biggest investment. If you get 0% credit card and you don't know what to invest in and you're not making, let's say, $80,000 a year, then you have to look at what skills can you add to make yourself more valuable, right? You are the investment. And the more that you get your active income higher, then, you know, then your skills can go up to meet you at that level. You make more money, and then you'll be better with your passive investments. So I know I get that people think, oh, I need money, or I want to invest passively. I want to get into these passive investments, and then those passive investments will help feed, you know, your life. The problem with that is you depend so much on on one investment, because you're saving, you know, and you could save for a year or a few years, and if that one investment doesn't pan out, you know, you're in trouble. And so you're limited with the amount of opportunities you can take. Usually the reason why, you know, because everybody on this call, and I would easily say everybody deserves to make $80,000, right? Or can make $80,000. Usually there's 2 things limiting us. Number one is ourselves, our mindset, our belief in ourselves, our belief that we're capable and deserving, that we're worthy of it, that we can be accepted. So that's probably the biggest one, is the mindset. The second one is your skills, right? If you have the mindset, or if you don't have the mindset, you're probably lacking the skills, and the skills are going to help give you the confidence that you can get there, but you have to believe that you can learn the skills. So I'm talking about liquidating $50,000 in credit. Some of us, right? Some of you guys may not have the skills to know what to do with $50,000, right? And you asked the question, like, what do you do with it? Like, after you get the money out, like, what do you do? And that is a really good question. And that is part of learning those skills. Like, what do you do with the money that you get and that you make? So this is just teaching you guys how to get access to capital. And then you still have to develop the skills on what to do with it to make sure that you're getting a return on your money. But hands down, the biggest investment and most lucrative investment you can make is on your own learning. We got a question over here. Do I write in those investments for personal off at the end? Do I write my investments buy Bored Ape with it? That's true. I don't even know if you can't even get a Bored Ape NFT with 50,000. I think you need like 300. Lucy, do you write those investments for personal off at the end? Can you explain what that means? For taxes. I don't think I write investments off. Oh, you're talking about when I invest in coaching. Like if I invest in a new skill, which is yes. So I just paid a coach $7,000. I'm paying him $7,000 for mostly actually to work on my mindset, right? To teach me how to think bigger, to teach me how to remove certain limiting beliefs. And so I'm investing in myself, right? I'm paying him, but it's an investment into myself because I believe that if I work on myself and I can remove a lot of these limitations that exist, then I'm going to make significantly more than $7,000. But that $7,000 is a tax write-off, right? So this year, when I use what I learned to make more, that $7,000, I used 0% credit. Okay, so now I could extend, I don't have to pay $7,000 in cash. I can extend it over 12 months. And then in that 12-month period, I can make more than $7,000 to pay back my investment. And I can write off that $7,000 as a tax write-off. So what that means is, let's say I made $10,000 this year. And the $7,000 that I paid this coach for immediately gets deducted. So now it looks like I only made $3,000. So hopefully that makes sense. Use or liquidating the cards, right? Have a merchant you trust, just like I told you guys earlier in this call. So yeah, I got totally went on a tangent, huh? Babe, you're not muted. Have a merchant you trust, and this actually should be 3 to 5% to pull the cash out. You could use PayPal. If you use PayPal and you pay a friend, keep it under $4,000. So if you have a credit card and it's $5,000, pay your friend $3,000 with it. And pay him as a friend or something. Even Venmo, you can use a credit card. You're going to pay a 3% fee. That's probably the cheapest way to get your money out of your credit card and cash it in. So yeah, use PayPal, but less than 4K. Use Venmo. I wouldn't use more than 5K for PayPal and Venmo. That could flag you. Manufactured spend, talked about that a little bit. You buy at a store, use partial credit, partial debit card, and then you go and return the item, have everything back on your debit card to pay off your credit card. Square, yeah, I mean, Square is a payment processor. I don't know how much, you got to test it out. I would start with $3,000 with Square, and that's it. That is the end of my TED Talk, and it's 9:16. I think that's 45 minutes, 46. Yes. All right, congrats for showing up. That's pretty much everything. This will be recorded, so anybody who didn't make it from the beginning, I will share this with you guys. And we have 15 participants. This is awesome. What's up, Hector? Thanks, guys. Thanks for showing up for my TED Talk. This is meaningful. Any questions right now? You guys can unmute so we can make this more interactive. Cool.
Hey, Frenny. Product.
What's up? What's going on?
Hey, buddy. Hey, can you tell me that example again of that transa with Sam's?
With who? Oh, with Sam's Club?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it works like this. You go to Sam's Club. So the whole idea is called manufactured spending. And you only want to do this if you want to remove the cash from the credit card so you could use the cash for your own reasons, or if you want to get the points for the credit card without actually spending the money. Okay, so let's just take into account that you have to spend $5,000 for this new credit card to get these points, to get like whatever $300 or $500 cash back, or to get 40,000 points. And so you're saying, man, I don't want to spend $5,000 on this credit card, but how do I get the points? So then you go to Sam's Club, you buy a big MacBook or a big TV for $5,000, and you say, hey, put $4,800 on this credit card because you're going to pay for the TV. Put $4,800 on the credit card and put $200 on my debit card. So you're paying with both a debit and a credit card. And they're going to say, okay, that's fine. And so then they swipe your credit card, swipe your debit card. The next day or the following day, you go back, customer service, return the TV, say, hey, this isn't really what I'm looking for. It's not working out. You return the TV, then they say, okay, what card would you like it back on? You give them your debit card. Then they're going to put the money, actually all $5,000, they're going to put it back on your debit card. So now you have $5,000 in your checkings account. Okay. And then from there, you have the option. Do you want to keep the money and invest it? Or do you just pay back your credit card? And then now you got the intro bonus points and you paid off your credit card. So that is the only two reasons why I'd suggest the manufacturer spending. Otherwise, yeah, it's really good. Does that make sense? Deal?
Hey, Fernie.
What up?
Can you hear me? All right, cool. No, I just want to say thank you first off for taking the time to do this. This was awesome. I had a question, like one of the last things you said when you were talking about like paying Venmo, like Venmoing somebody with your credit card, I think is what you were saying, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then you had said like not to go above a certain limit. Like what right. happens? Is that a bad thing to have people Venmo you like $5,000? You know what I mean? Like,
right. So especially with PayPal and Venmo, because you're not really getting paid for it. So how do I explain this? It's a bad thing if you're trying to game the system, right? If you're just paying for a service, like I'm paying $7,000 to my coach through PayPal, and I can put all of that on my credit card. Like that's not a bad thing. The bad part or the riskier part comes when you're trying to game the system. So you're trying to pay somebody, as a friends or family, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000, right? You're trying to use your credit card. You're paying somebody as a friends or family for $10,000. Like that's going to flag Venmo and PayPal, even your bank possibly. And the worst case scenario is they shut off your credit card, your bank takes it away. Venmo can shut you down, PayPal can shut you down. So these are the worst case scenarios that have actually happened. So if you're a business, right, on Venmo or PayPal, and yes, you swipe 10 grand or somebody pays you 10 grand, that's okay, right? That's considered a business transaction. It's going to look kosher with PayPal and Venmo, like you'll be fine. But just keep in mind that Venmo and PayPal are going to send you, most likely they're going to report to the IRS and send you a 1099, possibly, maybe not a 1099, but they're going to report to the IRS that you're receiving that much money.
Okay. I see.
Cool.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So, okay.
Can you go over what to expect, how to properly get that EIN and DUN, that DUNS number?
Yeah.
What do I expect when I'm applying?
Yeah.
How do I know I properly got one?
Yeah. So honestly, man, let me show you. Like, stop share. Oh no, I want to share still. Sorry about that. I just want to. So honestly, like the first thing, how to set up a DBA in California, right? You're in California. So you're going to come in here and you're going to do probably how to register a DBA in California, dude. Read this. This is the first thing you do. Set it up. It's probably super simple. Then your next thing you're gonna do is get an EIN with IRS. All right, and look at this, apply for an employer identification number with the IRS. All right, all I'm doing is typing into Google. So again, it's gonna tell you what to do right here. And you hit this blue button that says apply online now. Just click that. And it says their online assistance currently unavailable. So just look at during business hours.
Okay.
Yeah, so during business hours, you just apply. But that's really it. You just hit apply online and go through the steps. YouTube is your best friend. So just type in YouTube as well, how to apply for an EIN. But I promise you, this is very easy. You can probably get this EIN in 10 minutes. Setting up the DBA probably takes 20 minutes. And then getting the DUNS number is like another 20 minutes. The way that you get the DUNS number, how to get a DUNS number. And you want to look here, DNB. DNB, they give you get a DUNS number. And then you want to say, I have a US based business. Then you put in, your business name, which is the DBA that you created. You put the street address that you operate on. This could be your house, right? You don't need a business office address. This could be your house. Zip code, all that stuff. It's going to tell you to search because it's going to try to find your business. And then after you search, you're going to put like continue to create a new DUNS number. Does that make sense?
Yes. And I this is what I need to apply for a business card.
Right. Those are the 3 steps exactly, dude. I'll send you this recording afterwards, right? DBA, EIN, DUNS.
Fern,
Thank you.
Fernando.
Yeah,
got
what's
a
up?
question.
Yeah,
Got a question for you. So
go for it.
I already got that DUNS number and everything else. How long after I have the DUNS number do you think I should wait before I apply for that business credit card? Does it have to take like a couple weeks or a month or two?
No, dude, I set up my DUNS number probably on Monday and I applied for my credit card yesterday. So it's just once you get approved, it usually takes 24 hours to get the approval for your DUNS number. Once you get your DUNS number, you want to make sure that your physical business address in the DUNS number, it matches up with your documented like Secretary of State physical address, right? You want those to match. If those match and on the application, you want to use the same physical address just so everything connects with each other. So all the algorithm, it's all saying like, oh yeah, check. Okay, he's legit. Boom. So you should be good, dude. If you qualify, if you check all the boxes, then you're good to go. And I would probably start with the Citizens Bank. Just so you guys know, by the way, this is like I did. It's not like I learned all this stuff on my own. Like this is what I mean by paying for coaching. Amy knows we're on our honeymoon. A year and a half ago or so in October, a little less, but we're on our honeymoon and we invested $10,000 into a program that was going to teach us about business credit scores, getting into these higher level networks. Because you have to remember that the type of people who are investing in themselves, like that, those are people that you want to learn from. They're probably doing something else. So yeah, this isn't like I figured all this stuff out on my own. No, I'm learning from other people constantly. So Citizens Bank, small business credit card. And I would come here. I would go credit cards. Actually, I'd go for your business. And then I would go, where do I want to go? Business, credit card, online bank. No, that's not it. It's a blog. Sorry, guys. Oh, there we go. Business credit cards. And the one you want to apply for is the Business Platinum Mastercard. So this one's like a 0%. It's a soft pull, 0% introductory APR for 6 months. So I'd probably start with this one. And beginning the first day of the 7th billing cycle, APRs are 8%. So, okay, for my deal, he was asking me like, what are the APRs, right? This all depends on your credit score. So you can get as low as 8.24% and as high as 20%. This APR will depend on your credit worthiness and will vary based off of the market base, right? There's no annual fee. So this is good for 6 months. I would probably use this credit card if as a bridge loan for like a balance transfer. So if you got this card and you had personal credit debt, then on credit cards that were on your personal name, I would probably open up this card, do a balance transfer into this card. So you now have, you free up your credit utilization, you free up your credit score starts to go up in the next 3 to 6 months. This is on a business credit card. And then you can still apply for more business credit, right? This is a soft pull, so it's not going to be a hard inquiry. Cool.
Dad here.
That's going to be all over the recording. Daniel, Sammy, you guys got questions, man? This is for you guys too, because I know you guys are still in college, and sometimes having access to capital is it's a good thing.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask you if you could recap on you said you could take $50,000 out, and as long as you pay it within like, or make your little payments monthly for like 12 to 18 months, it won't hurt your credit score, something like that. Can you recap on that, please?
Yeah, dude. Anything that's a business credit card does not report utilization on your credit score. So any business card, right? I mean, if it's $5,000, you know, I don't expect everybody to just get a $50K card, but yes, I can rack it up to $50,000, $70,000, $100,000. If it's a business credit card and I'm making my monthly minimum payments, then it's never going to report negatively on my credit score. You got it.
And then really quick, so you were talking about the whole Sam's Club example. Is that
right, for
like on your
manufactured
credit
spending?
card, or is that on a business card?
I would not do it on your personal, because remember, your personal credit is only there to help you get business credit, right? You don't really want to rack up a ton of personal credit, because then your credit score is going to go down. So yes, so you're using your business credit cards. You still get all the points, by the way. Like I got 150,000 points for for my Amex Platinum, right? And I think it's right now like 120,000. Amex, American Express, Platinum card. So yeah, you can still get all the benefits and all the points with business cards. Like look, 125,000 membership reward points after you spend $6,000. I don't know if this one's personal. Actually, you might want to do business. Sorry, guys. American Platinum Business. What's up? What's up, Sam? Hey, the other Sam.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. You're talking to me or the other Samuel? Sorry.
No, I'm talking to you. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go for it.
No, yeah. I was gonna say that business one. I think it's 15,000 in the first 3 months. But
yeah.
I was gonna ask. So if someone transfers their personal debt or personal expenses onto a business, like how does it affect you? Like when you file taxes, like does it look like you're mixing business and personal at all? Like, isn't that like a no-no?
So there's a few ways that I'm going to answer that. Okay, number one, just because you have a credit card doesn't mean you have to use the expenses of the credit card on when you're filing taxes. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. People can use business credit cards as personal credit cards as long as they don't claim those expenses as deductions. Then you're okay. So everybody that I'm talking to here, right? It's like, go buy your groceries with it, right? Go buy whatever you want. Just don't claim them as deductions and you're fine. Okay. Number two, which is probably more for you, Sam, you're trying to figure out like, hey, I don't want to commingle my business and my personal stuff, right? With this credit card, I might look wrong because you do have business expenses right? Like you're actually running a business, and you want to be careful to not put too much personal stuff on your business card and not too much business on your personal kind of deal, right? You don't want to mix it up. My answer to you is you need a bookkeeper. And your bookkeeper, at the end of the days, like just with me, dude, I pay my bookkeeper, I don't know, $300 a month. And their job is to do exactly that. So the IRS isn't looking at my credit card transactions. The IRS they're looking at my QuickBooks. They're looking at my QBO, right? And as long as my QBO is legit, then they're fine. So of course it's easier. Like if you're running a small business operation, 100%, it's going to be so much easier to have a business credit card for business. And then I would honestly just have another business credit card for personal. Like that's what I would do. And that way you don't have to worry about personal credit cards. And the business credit card that you use for personal, you just don't report it. You just don't put those as expenses, and then you're fine.
Got you.
Fern, do you think there's a limit to how many credit cards you can have for one business, or do you just keep going and keep getting new credit cards?
Yeah, I don't think there's a limit. I know
So then
people that have
You just keep going?
a lot, millions of
Damn.
dollars. There's no limit, because think about it, right? Like credit allows you to scale. Businesses want to lend. If a bank doesn't lend to you, they're not making money. The only way that banks make money is by lending. So they want to move their money out. The more that they can put their money out there, then the more opportunities they have to make money.
Gotcha.
All right, I got a question in the chat. All right, Sammy left. Cool. All right. Yeah, no, there's a ton to learn. Sam, any other questions for you too, right? So Sam is opening up his e-commerce stores. And, I'll just tell a quick story where we had a store that we made $200,000 in 1 month. And we had to refund $80,000 worth of product because we didn't have the credit. we didn't have the money to go buy the material. So we had to refund our customers. I mean, you can never have too much access to credit, too much access to capital, right? Sam, you brought up, Sam, hey, you told me like, hey, is it worth me getting a business credit card if my store's not open yet? Yes, dude, the sooner you start building up your credit, the more lendable you're gonna be. And you can never have too much credit because banks lend on comparable credit anyways.
Oh, question for you. So like when you apply for your business credit, do you have to use your personal credit score every single time? Or is it like just the first
Correct.
time? Oh, every single time.
No,
God.
every single time. Next level, which is you're in my advanced class now, Sam. So we'll talk about this for you. But next level is where you don't have to use your personal credit score. Honestly, I'm not even there yet. I'm working towards that, but I'm not there. That's where you actually have to have a functioning business, and they don't check your personal credit score. But in the meantime, while we're all building our businesses, they are going to check our personal credit score. But you can get it removed. Remember that. You can get it removed.
Wait, I'm sorry, you can get what removed?
Your inquiry. So for business credit cards, after you apply for your business credit card, like this is exactly what I'm going to do next week. This business platinum card is coming to our house. Then I'm going to activate it. Immediately that next day, I'm going to call Experian and I'm going to say, hey, can you remove this inquiry from my credit profile? They're going to say why, and they're going to say, well, it's fraudulent. That wasn't me who applied. And so then they're going to say, okay, well, we'll get it removed. And then they remove it. And because it's a business card, right, then they can't go into your EIN and close your business account. So that's what I'm talking about. Business credit cards are freaking powerful, man. Like you can, so then what do you do afterwards? You go and apply for another business credit card. And then you get approved and then you activate it, you take down the inquiry, and then you go and apply again. You know what I mean? Rinse and repeat, dude. It's wild.
So like when you report it to them, like, hey, this was fraudulent, I didn't apply for it, they don't like then try to take away the card that was like given?
If it's a personal credit card, yes. If it's a personal credit card, then they'll call the bank and say this was fraudulent. And then that bank will then shut down your personal credit card. Okay, because it's tied to your social security number. But this is the key thing. When you're applying, it's a personal credit card and you do that, then they're going to close down your account most likely because it's tied to your SSN. But when it's a business credit card that's tied to your EIN, then that's not going to happen. All the bureau is going to do is remove the inquiry and you stay with your business credit card open.
That's fire.
That's sick, right? Yeah, dude, I'm gonna send you the recording after this. I think you missed the first 30 minutes. And I went over
Sorry.
a lot of those benefits. Where is it at? I'll send you the recording, dude.
Yeah, my bad. I don't want to keep bombarding everybody with these questions. Sorry about that.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Andrew had asked just the last, oh man, 39:38. My wife's gonna kill me, dude, and she's on this call. The last thing that I'm going to share is, what do you do with the money? What do you do with, if you had $50,000? There's two things that you guys got to learn. One is, what do you do with the money? How do you turn this money into more money, right? And all of us can have different answers, right? Sam's got an e-commerce store that he's pumping through. There's crypto, whatever. There's CDs. You can put this to a checking deposit for a year if you wanted to. You can put it in the S&P 500. You can do whatever you want with the money. You can invest in real estate, go and flip houses. The goal then is, it's up to each of us to do our homework, right? And find a reference point. You just want to get started and learn, right? You don't have to start with $50,000. You can start with 5, start with 10. When you start small, you get comfortable. I started with 10 or 20, and then I got into 30, and then last year we used 60. You know, this year maybe we're going to use 100. You get more confident with some things. I will give one hack, not hack, but two things that I'm probably thinking of doing with some money. This right here, this is cryptocurrency. And many people are like, oh my gosh, crypto, like that's so scary. And that's true if you don't know what you're doing. So what you're looking at right now, this is called MUSD and MStable Frax. These are both what are called stable coins. And it's like, imagine if you could buy, let's say 1,000 British pounds. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example. You bought 1,000 British pounds and you bought 1,000 the equivalent of 1,000 US pounds to 1,000 US dollars. I don't know what the equivalent is. How many US dollars? USD to British pound. 0.73 British pound to USD. Okay, yeah. So you bought 1,000 pounds and like 1,360 US dollars. Okay, so you have both 1,000 pounds and 1,360 US dollars. Now imagine if you could put this up in a trade, like if you became the transaction coordinator, just like at airports. When you go to an airport and you trade British pounds for US dollars or US dollars for British pounds, then they charge you a fee. Usually, I don't know how much they charge, 3%, 5%, I have no idea. But they're charging you a fee just to change the currency, right? So right now, we can't do that. We can't participate in the trade of a pound to a US dollar, but we can participate in the virtual currency of the pound and US dollar. And that's kind of what you're looking at here. So both of these are virtual digital currencies or cryptocurrencies, but they're stable coins. Both of these are actually tied to the US dollar. So what does that mean? Like there's $1 US for one MUSD, or there's $1 US for one Frax. So this isn't a volatile cryptocurrency. It's 1 for 1. So what am I doing? All I'm doing is capitalizing on that same market that we all already participate in when we go and transact and trade US dollars for pesos or pesos to US dollars, any type of currency transaction, all I'm doing is becoming a part of that. I am now profiting off of that. So when I come in here and I'm probably going to buy $5,000 of MUSD and $5,000 of Frax, you can look at the minimum I'm going to make. The minimum I'm going to make in a year is 30%. So off of a $10,000 play with zero, I'm not going to say zero risk, I would call it 0.5% risk. I'm going to make 30% on my money this year. And then I take my money out and I go on my way. On the high end, I can make 87%. Now there's different ways of doing this, but this is crypto. And when I talk about safe investments in crypto, I mean, where else are you going to make 80% on your money? Which I would call it safe, because it's a safe investment. So I most likely will take $10,000, put it here, and I'm probably going to be getting maybe the lower end of this, maybe the middle. I need to talk to my wife about it. This is one investment I plan on doing. NFTs, yes. But you can see how, like, for me, this is low risk. Okay, I can also put it into USDC, stake it on Voyager, get 9%. Like, that's also very much low risk. So what I do with the credit card money is usually invest in myself. That's like the first thing I do. I look at what skills I need to make more money. So how I learned crypto, right? I invested, I don't know, another six grand or so to learn cryptocurrency and how to do all this stuff. But if I take 10 grand and invest it in here and I make 8 grand off of the 10, then I just paid for my investment, right? What else am I going to do with it? There's something called strong nodes. So I'm probably going to buy one of these nodes. This is like $5,000. And this is probably going to pay me maybe $300 to $500 a month. So I invest $5,000. It pays me, let's say on the low end, $300 a month. So it'll take me a little over a year to make back my investment, but then I have it for the rest of my life. So that's another 5. So now I got 15 that I've played with, right? And so then maybe I'll get a little riskier and I'll put into some other things, you know? So there's different strategies. I'm not a financial advisor, but I am strategic with what I do with my funds. So that way I can pretty much guarantee that I'm gonna pay the $50,000 back. It's just a matter of how much I'm gonna make on top of the 50.
Fern, real quick,
That makes sense.
not to take up too much more of your time here, since you brought up crypto. Have you done anything with index? I know index funds, right? They're tied to stocks and S&P, right? So I was looking into indexes for crypto, and I found this one site called Token Sets. Kind of gives you like some indexes to kind of pick from. You could do metaverse, you know, you can go DeFi, all kinds of spaces. Have you done any work in that space before?
Well, send me it, dude. I'll have to look into it and I'll check it out.
I'll send you a link.
But I think I've taken up a lot of your guys' time. I appreciate you guys being on. I'm obviously very passionate about this stuff. I want my family and friends to be successful. I am spearheading a lot of risk, and I'm okay with that, if that means that I can pay a road, honestly. So thank you for being on, guys. I love you, family and friends. You too, Sam. Sam, hey, love you too, man. Yeah.
Thank you. Love you, good brother. I appreciate the knowledge. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Good night. Love you.
Bye, Mom. Love you.
Bye. I like to bye.